Hello, welcome to First Thoughts. I'm Connor Eyzaguirre.
I'm Colton Jenkins.
And today we're discussing quite a big winter surprise, the 2023 Warner Brothers film Wonka, a film that Willy Wonka purists were all kind of secretly hoping would fail, but turned out to be pretty damn good. I don't think anybody really expected that. You put British whimsy in the hands of Paul King, the guy who did the Paddington movies, you're going to get something special. So here we are, Wonka. Initially, what'd you think?
I was seriously surprised. I thought that the movie was going to fail, like, really bad. I thought Timothée Chalamet was a weird choice for Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
But, hey, I mean, if Johnny Depp can do it, granted, badly, I'm sure Timothée Chalamet give him a shot. And I was so surprised on how good this movie is. It gave me a warm, fuzzy feeling in my chest.
Yeah, it was nice. I never wondered about where Willy Wonka came from. I just enjoy watching him, psychologically torture 5 children over an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah.
But the idea of him, learning chocolate making from his mom, who he lost, and trying to find that spark of joy that he had when he made chocolate with her, that was a touching sentiment, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah. I thought that was cute. I liked because one of my biggest complaints with the Johnny Depp Wonka is his backstory, like with his dad. I don't really care about that, as wonderful as Christopher Lee is, but when he started talking about his mom, I was like, oh fuck, it's going to be the same thing. But that was really cute, and one of the cutest moments in the movie is because of that.
Yeah, and we'll get to that. But before we get into Wonka, this is the third attempt at adapting Roald Dahl's novel Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Probably the second best attempt, I would say. But I think everyone pretty much agrees that nothing's ever going to top 1971's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
No.
One of my all-time favorite movies. I think the first movie I ever really loved. Like, this is my original favorite movie before I, Back to the Future kind of stole that top spot. But I still love this movie so much. Yeah, in fact, as we record, it's paused right in front of our faces.
Yeah.
Because it's just, it's the kind of movie you can watch again and again. And most of that is Gene Wilder's iconic performance as Willy Wonka.
Yeah. It's a special movie to me, too, because, I'd say, like, Inglourious Basterds is the movie that, got me into film. Pinocchio made me realize it is an art form. But Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is the first movie that made me feel something, if that makes sense. The movie that made me feel inspired. It's like my first inspirational movie, which is weird that it's a movie about a psychotic chocolate man, and it inspired me.
A psychotic chocolate man.
I mean, there's a scene when they lick the wall, and I was like, wow, this is really inspirational.
Yeah. I think it's more about just, not being afraid to follow your dreams and fight for them, which I like, especially, from Charlie's perspective. This is a poor kid who has nothing, who has one dream, and that is to see the inside of Wonka's chocolate factory. And with Wonka, it's, I really hate children, and I want them to suffer. And so he decides, I'm going to let these kids in, and then I'm going to put them in insanely horrific situations. Yeah. And we're going to not ever get any confirmation that they made it out of their life.
Yeah. I always thought, you say this is the third adaptation of Wonka. Mm-hmm. If you want to go the full route of Willy Wonka as a psychopath, I mean, Snowpiercer can be seen as a sequel to this one. But, yeah, no, he's definitely, he did this all on purpose. I agree that it was all fixed.
Yeah. I love that Snowpiercer has been lumped into the Wonka canon because it does add up. It's weird how much it adds up.
Yeah, it does. I also have you heard the thing that it's a retelling of Dante's Inferno?
I wrote an essay in college about that.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, we did a Dante's Inferno class that admittedly, and Dr. Schwebel, I hope you're not listening to this, I never read a speck of Dante that whole damn class. I was coasting. I admit that. When the time came to write the one project that was our grade, we had to write a 20-page essay about something related to Dante, and I was like, I don't know fuck about Dante. What do I do? But then I read this theory that Wonka was a retelling, and I'm like, oh, I know Wonka. So I wrote 20 pages of that, and I ended up getting a B in the class.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, it all adds up. You know, you get sins, you get greed, lust, gluttony, sloth, envy, which is weird because Charlie himself kind of embodies envy, I think.
Well, he's certainly not innocent in this one. No, he stole fizzy lifting drinks.
Yeah, that's a complaint I have about the Johnny Depp one. Is Charlie is like, he's not a normal kid. He's like too good.
He's too pure.
He's too pure, and no kid would do that.
This Charlie literally comes running into, the fifth golden ticket is mine. Like he's like, I did it. Like, there's a lot of like, finally after all these years, I got something. It's mine, and you get it.
And I could be wrong, but also in Willy Wonka, he never says like, oh no, I'll give the ticket up for money. He never does that. He's like, oh fuck yeah, we're going to the factory. He's like, absolutely, we're going.
Yeah, not once does he consider giving this up. Like this is all he cares about. It's made clear from the beginning that the only thing on his mind 24/7 is chocolate.
Yeah.
Which, something that we'll get to, but in the new movie I found very funny is that everyone could be bribed with chocolate.
Yeah, it's weird that chocolate was a currency. It also, it makes me think like, Willy, I mean, obviously it's not realistic. He's a magic chocolate man, but I wonder like what reality this movie is in.
Just your vague, Europe city, Lund, Para, Berlini-vania. I don't know. But it's I think it's kept vague for a reason. I also find it funny that in the new one, chocolate is a currency, but also real money is a currency. So like what?
Yeah, there's a scene in the new movie when this guy goes to Wonka's, like, it's his grand opening of his chocolate shop, not his factory, but his shop, and he pays extra, and he gets change back, which, he pays with 100, he gets change, and the person is like, oh, do you want your change in edible or spendable? And he was like, edible, of course. What? No, give me my change. What are you talking about? Imagine in this world, you go to Starbucks, and then they flip their fucking iPad over. Like, you want to leave a tip? It's like, yeah, sure, here's a candy coin. And they're like, oh my god, thank you.
Do you want your change in coffee? And they just like, I picture like a fire hose of just like...
directly into your mouth, yeah.
Oh, God. So Willy Wonka, we got the Oompa Loompas, these, orange-faced, green-haired dwarves who are very clearly a slave force that Willy Wonka kidnapped from some foreign land and are forcing to make his chocolate. In fact, I'm pretty sure the whole reason he did this thing was so he could slap somebody else with the OSHA violations, and he's no longer liable as CEO. That makes the most sense for this contest.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's never brought up like where they come from in this movie.
Loopaland.
He says Loopaland, but he doesn't elaborate any further.
I know this is horrible, but I'm pretty sure that in the original Willy Wonka, there's no Loopaland. Wonka has been kidnapping dwarves and painting them to look like these little creatures.
What?
That's what I think's going on.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah. In this movie, I mean, they all look like, sad that they have to dance for their master's entertainment here.
Oh, so you think in this one they're forced to do the songs?
100%. In the original Wonka, they don't want to be there.
No.
They were kidnapped, they were painted, and Wonka's telling people, yeah, I don't know, fucking Loopaland, that's where they're from.
Yeah. You could write the same movie, film it entirely the same way, but just change the lighting and the score, and you'll have a horror movie.
We get a horror movie for about 2 minutes in this movie, weirdly. I'll never figure that out, where the hell the fucking boat scene comes from.
Yeah. Wasn't that scene like improvised or something?
The scene wasn't, but Wonka's weird monologue was.
Oh, that's
Gene Wilder just started doing that, and the rest of the cast look at each other nervously like, what the hell's going on right now? So their reactions are genuine. They're like, they don't know what to do, what to say. They just kind of let Wilder go with it.
I heard that he did that a lot in this movie. There's a lot of stuff that he improvised, and like him, I guess like they never met Gene Wilder before they meet Wonka.
Yeah.
So him coming out like a feeble old man, their reactions were genuine, and when he does that fucking somersault thing, they're like, oh, what the fuck?
Well, Wilder pretty much, like, he approached Wonka as this trickster who really enjoys messing with people. And he just kept doing that. And I love that he did that. Like, I love whenever he would, one of the parents would ask a question and he would respond in, like, French or German. just cause. Or one of my favorite lines ever, I'm sorry, all questions must be submitted in writing. He's having fun screwing with these people.
Yeah. I like how Violet's dad keeps trying to, like, bond with him or, just talk to him. Yeah. And every time Willy Wonka talks to him, he, like he says, like, hey, are you, like, smuggling alcohol in here? He's like, maybe, I don't know.
I love the visual of Mr. Salt diving into the garbage chute, just like, Daddy's coming! And just head first into the fucking... I love that so much.
So I have a weird way that I look at that scene also, is when he tells... When Willy Wonka tells her dad that the chute goes to the
the furnace.
The furnace.
Yeah.
He laughs and he's like, oh, okay. And then he's like, oh my god, my daughter's dead. And then Wonka is like, oh, but she could be stuck in the chute. And that's when he's like, oh god, I gotta save her because she can be hearing what I'm doing right now and get upset that I'm like he's more upset that she's still alive.
So he's like almost celebrating until he's like, oh shit, she's hearing me say this, and then he's like, I gotta put on... Oh, that's great. I never thought about it like that. Oh, that's hysterical. All right, yeah. We're planning a Willy Wonka full episode down the road because it's an amazing movie that's worth a full discussion. So I don't want to go too much into that. So let's move on to the 2005 version, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Tim Burton's attempt at adapting Roald Dahl's book. First of all, have you ever read the book?
I've not.
I read it in middle school, and I liked it. It's pretty spot on. I think in terms of adaptation, Tim Burton adapted it the best, but the first one's still the best movie.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true, but I heard that Roald Dahl helped make Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the first movie.
Yeah.
But he hated the way it turned out.
Yes.
And then when Tim Burton was like, I'm going to remake it, the Roald Dahl estate liked the Tim Burton one more and thought it was more.
Yeah. Dahl, he wrote the screenplay to the original Willy Wonka. Like, he was very involved. He did not like Gene Wilder as Wonka. That was the big one. So if Wonka's not the way he visioned it, the rest of it's going to fall apart for him.
So with that being said, it makes me wonder, like, if the first Willy Wonka had never come out and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory did come out, I wonder if people would enjoy that movie more than they do.
Maybe. I don't know. I know that Dahl despised this movie so much that he put it in his will that no studio ever will be able to adapt the sequel, Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator. Like, that's never going to be a movie.
Wait, hold on, there's a sequel?
There is a sequel, and it's Wonka, Charlie, and Charlie's grandparents in space in the Great Glass Elevator fighting aliens. The aliens are the vermicious knids that he mentioned.
I will never read that. That sounds...
It's bizarre. It's very bizarre.
Okay. All right. So... when I think about that, the fact that the Tim Burton one is more of an adaptation than like a retelling, I kind of like the movie a little bit more than I'm probably in the few majority that I don't mind that movie. I think it's fine. I don't hate it because I don't see it as a remake of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I see it as just an adaptation of the book, which I've never read the book. Okay. But I do like it. There are some things I like, some things I don't like. But I know you hate it.
I don't hate it. It's not Willy Wonka. Not for me. Johnny Depp's performance. I don't know. He plays Wonka like the real Willy Wonka was killed and stuffed in a closet right before this all happened, and this crazy dude took the hat and coat and decided to play along. That's his Wonka, which is a very weird way to play him. I think the dentist backstory is a little too on the nose. Like, of course, the chocolate guy's father was a dentist. Like, come on.
Yeah, that is the way that I see, a good analogy here. Johnny Depp's Willy Wonka is a psychopath. He's deranged.
Yeah.
Like, actually. He is, honestly, Jared Leto's Joker. And then Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka is Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. He holds it all in, but he's a broken man.
It comes out from time to time.
Yeah.
The whole, wrong, sir, wrong, like all that. Like, you get glimpses that Wonka's out of his fucking mind.
Yeah.
I love that. I also love thinking, like, how did Timothée Chalamet, this hopeful young chocolatier who just wants to live his dream, turn into this jaded, crazy person who wants to kill all these children?
I think it's just because he's jaded, because, like, even though he gets his factory, the world still fucking sucks. And I think, I don't know exactly what time period, that movie takes place in, but, like, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory takes place, seems to be in the 60s. I don't know. I could be very, very wrong. I mean, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory I thought it was Victorian England until they got to the factory. They're watching Oprah, so, like, I don't know what's going on there, but I mean, he's had time to live. He's had people try to steal from him over and over and over again.
That's true.
One of the things that I liked about Wonka was he says a quote from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. No, he doesn't say it. Sorry, the Oompa Loompa in Wonka says, he's like, alas, a good deed and a...
Oh yeah, so so shines a good deed in a weary world.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
All those little nods to the original, I was like, there it is.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Sorry, I got off track.
Yeah.
Back on Johnny Depp's Willy Wonka. What are things that you don't like about it?
I don't like the songs. The Oompa Loompa stuff. I think the Oompa Loompas are creepier and just weird. I don't know why they decided to just make 1 million copies of one guy. Thought that was very weird.
Yeah.
And the songs are obnoxious.
They are.
I don't like that either. Even though those are the songs Roald Dahl wrote in the novel, but I don't think he wanted it done that way.
Yeah, no.
All the kids survive, kind of, in weird ways. Apparently, Augustus is now made of chocolate.
Yeah, that's weird. I also don't like... I'm all for, gender swapping. But literally every parent is changed except for Augustus Gloop's mom.
Well, and Veruca's dad.
Oh, Veruca's dad, yeah. I guess that's only half. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I don't like Mike TV's dad.
Yeah, well, he's just a weak father who's clearly been beat down to hell by this obnoxious little shit. Who's clearly, he's a school shooter in the making, this kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he ends up as Slender Man, which is kind of odd.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could raise a 8-foot tall, flat child. I don't think I could do that.
Yeah, no. I think an argument maybe could be made that the kids in the modern one are more, sinister, not annoying. In Willy Wonka, they are just annoying brats. But in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, they're like assholes. Yeah,
they're all pricks, all of them. Augustus, in the first one, his crime is just he's kind of chubby and he likes to eat.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, he shouldn't have jumped in the fucking river. But still.
No, stop, please.
But help, police, murder. I love that so much. But do you want some chocolate? Yes? Then you should have brought some. Shit. It's come on. They all got to be assholes.
Yeah.
I don't like I didn't think it was creepy enough. There's a sinister... this movie could have easily ended up being a horror film in the second half. Willy Wonka. And I wish they'd done that. I think it would be the greatest movie of all time if the first half is whimsy and the second half is straight up horror.
You really could... I don't know if they would ever do it. And people would probably get upset. But you could 100% make a Willy Wonka movie again, but just make it creepy. Tim Burton is known for being creepy, and I don't understand why. I guess he's not known for being creepy. He's known for being gothic, whimsical, bizarre. But, imagine if, Guillermo, Jesus Christ, Guillermo del Toro made a Willy Wonka movie. that would be insane.
That would be something else. Yeah, the 05 one just, and again, it is a remake of one of my favorite movies, so that is also a fuck ton of bias that I'm bringing to the table here.
It's cool that we see it differently.
Yeah, that's the best part of doing all this stuff. And it doesn't really, it has an audience. I own it on Blu-ray. Like, I do have it. I do watch it. Mm. But I always watch it with this undercurrent of, like, you're not my Wonka.
Yeah. What are things that you do like about it?
I think all the kids, apart from Depp, I like pretty much all the performances.
Yeah.
I like the backstory of Grandpa Joe working for Wonka.
Yeah, I really like that.
The bit about the prince with the chocolate palace, I like that.
Yeah, that because like especially in Wonka, that story fits. I could see Timothy Chalamet being like, okay, yeah, I'll make you a palace entirely out of chocolate.
Yeah. I like the production design. I think is amazing. Mm-hmm. Costume design for sure. Elfman's score is a good blend of bouncy and creepy.
Yeah,
like it usually is. He's just the best at that. I think that's pretty much that's a good. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Things that I like?
Yeah.
I don't like him as Willy Wonka, but if his name wasn't Willy Wonka, I would like the character that Johnny Depp is. Just because, like, some of the one-liners that he says are hilarious. Like, when Augustus, gets sucked up into the chocolate, his mom is like, are you telling me that he's going to be shipped all over the world? And Johnny Depp is like, ew, no, that's disgusting. I wouldn't let that happen. He would taste terrible. Like, that's funny. Or just the way that he treats Mike TV is, I think, funnier. in
Mumbler!
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. I like there's one bit where Mr. Salt gives him his business card and, like, Wonka just tosses it away.
Yeah.
As soon as I thought that was funny.
I also like, just throw your coats anywhere. And they literally just throw them, I think that's funny.
I always chuckle when Violet, like, gives him a hug and she's like, I'm Violet Beauregard. And he goes, oh, I don't care. And then walks away.
Yep, that's good.
So, it's got its moments. Like, I wouldn't say I hate it. Like, I gave it a 2.5 stars on Letterboxd, which I think is more than fair. Willy Wonka is a 5 out of 5, and Wonka is a 3.5.
Well, like, I also like how, it kind of, it does a sort of a poor job, but I like how it, it's more about Willy Wonka, which is interesting that it's called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yeah. It's more about Willy Wonka, and Willy Wonka is more about Charlie, but, that's an argument for another time. But I like how, like, at the end of the movie, when he's like, no, your parents can't come. What? And then, it's a little bit more about why Willy Wonka is the way that he is now.
Yeah. I got an Easter egg for you. Charlie's dad, who works at the toothpaste factory, the toothpaste that he's screwing the caps on is called Smilex, which is the gas that Joker used in Tim Burton's Batman movie.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's great.
Love that.
Oh my god. They exist in the same universe.
Apparently they do. That was one of the Joker products that you may have already purchased.
Oh my god. That's so good.
Ah. All right. I think that takes us to Wonka. I agree with you that Timothy Chalamet was an odd choice. When this was first announced, I was expecting, like, oh, are they going to do like an emo gritty reboot, sad boy Willy Wonka?
Yeah, and then it came out it was going to be a musical. I was like, Timothy Chalamet musical? That doesn't work.
Tom Holland was the other choice.
I'm honestly, I would have been more upset if it was Tom Holland. Tom Holland, as good of an actor as he is, he's like becoming the actor that does everything.
He's Chris Pratting.
Yeah, he's Chris Pratting, Ryan Reynoldsing.
Oh boy, I don't like that. I hate, especially when it's an actor I like in small doses. Suddenly everywhere. I felt that way about Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
Like certain, if you do like 3 or 4 movies a fucking year, slow down. Nicolas Cage is the only one who's allowed to do that. Everyone else, you get 1, 2 if you're lucky.
Yeah. I also think like, yeah, I don't know. Tom Holland would not have been a good choice.
I loved how everyone collectively jumped on the Jeremy Allen White bandwagon. Like,
oh yeah,
they were like, why wasn't it him? He looks like
does.
Gene Wilder's
He
grandson.
looks, yeah, he really does. Yeah.
Like, it got to the point where he had to confront it and be like, I'm not related to Gene Wilder, I promise. Like, it's weird how similar they look. That would have been interesting.
I think he would be a good choice for a gritty, dark retelling.
Buff Chicago Willy Wonka. Suffers no fools.
And, you know, if they ever do remake it as a horror movie, he would be a good choice.
Yeah, I agree. So this Wonka, directed by Paul King, who did the Paddington movies. And with this movie, he's pretty much cemented himself as the go-to guy for family-style British whimsy.
Yeah.
And I say, give him the rest of Roald Dahl's books. Give him Matilda, give him the Twits, give him the Witches, give him the BFG. Let this guy take a stab at all that shit. Because he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Don't remake Matilda. The original Matilda was wonderful.
They remade Matilda last year.
What?
It was a Netflix musical. And you know what? It wasn't bad.
I didn't know that.
It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Is Danny DeVito still in it?
No.
Oh.
No, there was no. The parents were Stephen Graham, Boiling Point. He was the dad.
That's weird.
And I don't remember who the mom was. Emma Thompson was Trunchbull.
I think I...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It did not make a splash. Like, nobody really talked about it.
Well, no. The original Matilda is like the original Wonka. You can't...
I love Matilda.
That's so good.
Every time, like, Danny DeVito goes up to Matilda to be like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm reading Moby Dick. And he's like, Moby what? And then takes it away from her. God damn.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good.
Yeah, fantastic. Apart from that, there hasn't really been, like, they did The Witches a couple times, which I have not seen yet. They did James and the Giant Peach.
Yeah.
The BFG. That's about it, really. Like, that's all the Roald Dahl I think that has been adapted.
Yeah, but shit, give it to this guy because he knows what he's doing. Have you seen Paddington?
I have not yet. I've heard it's amazing.
It is so good.
Yeah.
It gives you a warm, fuzzy feeling inside, and it makes you want to eat orange marmalade, which is my favorite jelly. I know it's weird, but whatever.
I'm very strictly grape jelly.
Grape is good.
Yeah. So yeah, Timothée Chalamet as a young, idealistic, seeking his fortune Willy Wonka, who shows up in European city number 3 to make something of himself. And he comes into contact with the so-called chocolate cartel.
Yeah, that was weird, but I really enjoyed it.
Led by Slugworth, Fickelgruber, and Prodnose, the only people selling chocolate in this city. And they were funny. I love that they used, the names from the original story. And they were just bribing city officials with chocolate.
Yeah, it's weird. But hey, I mean, shit, if chocolate's that good, then,
But apparently their chocolate wasn't that good. That was the whole point.
Yeah.
It was like watered down in a vault.
Yeah. Hey, Keegan-Michael Keel liked it enough.
Every time he would show up fatter, that made me laugh.
Like when the car door opens and all the candy wrappers come out, and he's like, "I can't get out of the car." So, but the best part of the movie is Timothée Chalamet, which is I can't believe I'm saying that.
He was whimsical and delightful and charming, and really showed this kid's range. Because like I've seen Dune, I've seen Call Me by Your Name, I've seen Don't Look Up,
The King,
yeah. He's got an amazing range.
He really does. I like before I've seen his, before I started watching his more of his movies, I used to think, oh, he's just hot. That's the only reason that he's like getting these roles because he's attractive. And then like I started like paying attention to him, and he's so good. There's a lot of like stuff happening right now with actors like coming out of their shell and exploring more. Like as memed as it is, Chris Pratt voicing Mario, that was cool. That was good. Robert Pattinson went from Twilight Vampire to playing the Batman, and everyone was like, that's not going to work.
Dude, his road from heartthrob to respected actor has been one hell of a journey.
Yeah. And he just voiced, I just saw The Boy and the Heron, unrecognizable, wonderful performance. Nice. And now Timothée Chalamet, heartthrob, Call Me by Your Name,
Wonka made me more excited for Dune 2, honestly. I'm looking forward to that now.
Yeah.
I'm happy that he has found a new audience with this, and I'm looking forward to what he does next. He got nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Actor in Musical or Comedy for this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Nominations came out a few days ago.
Well deserved.
You're not going to win, but...
No.
I
don't know why people are hating on this movie. They're saying it's like too much.
Because people don't like to be happy.
No, they don't.
They need to eat some goddamn candy. That's what they got to do.
Yeah.
That's what I did. As soon as the movie was over, I went and I went to a gas station. I got a candy bar. So Wonka ends up boarding in Mrs. Scrubbett's house, where she tricks people into staying there forever. Amazingly, they just accept that instead of anybody fighting it.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Well, you can't leave. That contract is watertight." Is it? Is it actually? I also love how Noodle says to him before he signs, she's like, "Read the fine print," and it's this long fucking contract, which is a nice callback to the contract scene in Willy Wonka.
Is there an accident indemnity clause? Never between friends.
So good.
Yeah. So he ends up stuck there. He tries to sell chocolate. The cartel's like, "Get the hell out of our territory." They go full Heisenberg on him.
Yeah, they really do. Yeah. Shit, they even blow up his. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. The overreaction of the people literally destroying his store. That was insane to me.
To be fair, if I went to a candy store and I ate some candy and I started turning blue, I'd freak the fuck out too.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
If I started growing hair and turning blue, I'd probably have a stroke. And I would sue Wonka for everything he's got.
Yeah.
So I get that.
Yeah, that's fair.
They did turn really quickly. Even the people who weren't turning weird, they're like, "How dare you!" and just went ape shit.
Yeah. And then they forgive him when he makes a literal chocolate fountain.
I think, as soon as, he gets, arrested for selling chocolate, I would just go to a different city.
Yeah.
I'd realize, this place is claimed. I'm going to go, sell, can't sell an ABQ, sell in Tucson.
Yeah.
But he befriends Noodle, this orphan who's just owned by Scrubbit and her weird man friend.
Bleacher. What's his name?
Bleacher. He was gross.
He was. Where do I know his voice?
I don't know. I was trying to place that too. I'm going to look that up in real time. You keep talking about Wonka.
Wonka was very good. I liked... One of the things I really liked is... we talked about it briefly, but his story and his relationship with his mother. And I'll let you talk about the ending because it's one of the best parts of the movie. Mm-hmm. But when he is making the chocolate for Noodle, and you see everything he has. He has bottled sunshine. He has silver lining from clouds. It makes me think is Willy Wonka is he magic? He's magic, or is he?
Yeah. Well, I mean, every single movie has some weird, unexplainable magic moment that everyone just kind of glosses over. I mean, in the original, the whole concept of fizzy lifting drinks and the giant geese that lay the golden eggs, that's not normal chocolate making. And then in the second one, he's got, living chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, clearly he's into something.
He definitely is magic. I thought they were going to go he's an inventor, like a Flint Lockwood type approach, and I'm glad they didn't.
No, they just kind of, like every movie, leave it up to you to figure that out for yourself.
Yeah. I like how he's like, "Oh, I'm an inventor. I create things." No, sir. You are a wizard.
Yeah. This guy, his name is Tom Davis. He played T-Bone in Paddington 2.
Okay.
So that's probably where you know him.
Man, this guy he's getting his circle of people.
Yes, he is.
In his movie. That's cool. I like when directors do that.
So just to get this out of the way, Wonka so far is not doing well at the box office. $57 million so far, $125 million budget. It's making money. So it might make its money back gradually, but there hasn't been a huge splash.
Huh.
Yeah. Warner Brothers can't catch a break.
That's really sad because this movie is really good.
It is. It's sweet. It's good natured. It's fun. Let's talk about Hugh Grant.
Yes.
Oompa Loompa Doompity Dee.
Lofty.
Yeah. Oh my god. So when this was announced, I was like, Hugh Grant, British heartthrob, Love Actually, Notting Hill, like this. He's gonna be an Oompa Loompa. I am loving Hugh Grant's career decisions since I would say The Gentleman. He has done some weird off the wall shit.
Yeah.
You know, he was the bad guy in the Dungeons and Dragons movie from earlier this year. I love that. Apparently he's a huge dick, but you know what? Okay, fine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Hugh Grant is known for just being kind of an asshole.
Oh, shit, man.
But he played the Oompa Loompa, and it was delightful. And I love that he did the songs. He did the Oompa Loompa song to tell his story. I thought that was so well done.
It was. I like when he's in the glass jar, and he's like, I'm going to tell you in song form. And he starts dancing, and Wonka's like, I don't want to hear that. And he's like, too late, I've already started dancing. Once I've started, we cannot stop.
I loved when he was like, now let me out of here, and we shall discuss this like civilized people. He's like, all right, now could you hand me that frying pan? No, the big one. And Wonka just does it. And you know exactly what he's going to do.
Yep.
The way that unfolded was really funny.
Yeah. I like that about Willy Wonka, though. He's like blissfully ignorant.
Yeah. He sees the best in people, even when he shouldn't.
He does, and then his factory is blown up. And that is the first of many things that go wrong that lead him to murdering 4 children.
Yep. So Lofty's story is that Wonka went to Loompa Land and stole the cocoa beans that he was supposed to be guarding, and the Oompa Loompa Council or whatever blamed Lofty for it and exiled him until he repays what he stole, and he must repay it back 1,000-fold because that is the Oompa Loompa way. I love that the Oompa Loompas came into Wonka's life out of vengeance.
Yeah.
That was cute.
I like that they are a race of people like addicted to and have probably a religion around the cocoa bean.
Yeah, that comes into play in the Burton one too.
Yeah.
And that's why they agree to work for Wonka, because he can pay them in chocolate, which is just accepted in this world. Everyone wants to be paid in chocolate.
Yeah. I don't want to be paid in chocolate. I like money.
Yeah, I can't pay my rent in, in Kit Kats. It's not.
Imagine going down to like a leasing office and be like, "Hi, I don't have a check for you, but I have a Hershey's candy bar." And they're like, "Oh my god, yes."
You know, if the whole world worked like that, I'm okay with it. I think that would be fun. Just like, you know, tipping people like a Hershey Kiss, like, hey, you know, buy yourself something nice. There's more where that came from, sweetheart. You know, that'd be awesome.
Oh my god.
I saw an awesome like date idea. Like, bring a bag of Hershey Kisses on like a date, and then ask the girl, hey, like, do you want a kiss? And depending on how she responds, you'd be like, no, Hershey Kisses.
Oh, there you go.
No awkwardness.
Yeah.
And you know where you stand.
Yeah.
It's kind of brilliant.
She's like, ew, what? No. I'm like, fuck, wait. And then you start like touching, you know, feeling your pockets. Like, where the fuck is it?
If you left it in the car, you're fucked. Yeah. So just make sure you have them. But so what else happens in Wonka that's worth discussing?
I like the scene when the 3 villains try his chocolate for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like describing him, and then Slugworth is like, this is disgusting.
Yeah. I love that little like, ooh thing he does. Like, oh, that's nice. In that moment, though, like, Wonka was clearly telling them, like, there's bugs in that chocolate.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they ate bugs.
They're eating larvae right now, and no one seems bothered by that.
Yep.
You know, not everything coated in chocolate is worth eating.
Yeah, no. Also, giraffe milk.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's kind of... the whole giraffe thing was funny. But what I loved was the fucking weird church thing and the secret vault of chocolate that they have under a church. Not just a church. Well, what is it? It's a chapel. No. What's bigger than a chapel? Oh god, what is the Pope living? Because that's what it is.
It is a Fuck, I don't know. I know what you're talking about. I cannot find it in the...
Really Big Church.
Really Big Church. I'll take it. Really Big Church. But the Abbey? Was that the word? Maybe.
I think that's what they used, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, the weird, like, chocolate addict monks who were chanting everything had me
funny.
rolling.
That
like,
was
it's
so
a giraffe. Run, it's a giraffe. That was funny as hell. And Rowan Atkinson is always a treasure.
Oh, yeah. Come on. God.
When his, like, phone rings during the funeral, he's like, hello, the pulpit.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, it was cute. It was cute. It gets a little, there's a lot in this movie.
There is.
It's a reimagining of Wonka. It's a prequel to Wonka. It's also a heist movie. It's also a, secret heir to the Fortune movie.
Yeah.
Like, there is a lot happening here. So I get why some people might be a little overwhelmed.
Yeah, there is a lot of storylines to follow, but they all like connect and they all close very nicely at the end.
Yeah. I love, the idea the Noodle was like Slugworth's niece that he just cast aside. Threw a baby down a fucking laundry chute.
Yeah, that's awful.
What a monster.
Yeah. When Slugworth pulls a gun out, I was not expecting that in this movie at all.
I was expecting the gun to be made of chocolate.
But no, he pulls a gun out and shoots it. And it's like, I'm gonna kill you. And then he proceeds to drown them in chocolate. Which...
That had such a Dr. Evil vibe to it.
Yeah,
it's like, I'm not going to actually witness them dying. I'm just going to lock them in a room and assume it all went to plan. What?
Yeah. And he told me that he planned all that. He was like, here's this chocolate. Don't eat it. Give it to the little orange man. And they're like, okay. He planned that?
Well, yeah, I think, he knew they were bullies who loved his chocolate, and they were 100% going to eat that chocolate. I do love that the Oompa Loompa was like, how dare you steal my chocolate. His obsession was hilarious. He didn't care about Wonka. He's just like, you owe me.
Yeah.
Top hat man, you owe me.
Yep. And then at the end, he's like, oh, a lifetime supply of chocolate. You say, yeah, I'll come work for you. Sure.
Dude, when Pure Imagination kicked on, I got chills. I started getting a little emotional.
Yeah.
That was done so well. And then when Wonka finally opens his mother's chocolate bar and there's a golden ticket in there.
Yeah.
And it's, it says the message, like the secret to great chocolate. It's not about the chocolate, it's who you share it with. Oh, my God.
It was so good. It was so good. It's one of those, like, it seems like it'll be a cliche, like Kung Fu Panda, like, oh, the secret ingredient is you.
Yeah.
But this one was done really well. The golden ticket was so cute.
Yeah, that was nice. And I like the message of, there is no secret to Wonka's chocolate.
Yeah.
It's just, it really is love.
Well, I mean, it also makes you fly.
There's that, too. Slugworth's chocolate's never made anyone fly.
No.
But that's not Wonka. That's the magic bugs he put in the chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
I'm not going to get over that. That's nasty.
Yeah.
Reminds me of when they're in the inventing room in the original one. And he throws a pair of shoes into the vat, and they're like, "What's that for?" And he's like, gives it a little kick.
Another thing I noticed, because I rewatched the original one this morning before I saw the film.
Mm.
When he dips his finger in whatever he's mixing, and he's like, "Oh no, it's too cold." He puts a coat in there. Like, he's like, "Oh, it's cold," and we cover it up with a coat.
Yeah, that's I love that shit.
Yeah.
Wonka is a fun movie. It's cute. It's heartwarming. It's perfect holiday season. See it with family kind of movie.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a fan of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It does that movie proud. And it's a good movie. I wish Gene Wilder had been here to see it.
Yeah.
I wonder what he would have thought.
I'm sure he would have liked it.
Yeah.
It's that good. He would have liked it, yeah.
It is.
And even if you're not a fan of Willy Wonka, still go see it just to, one, to support your theater, two, to support this director, and three, if you're just a fan of Paddington heartwarming movies. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I guess with that, we'll sign off here. Our next batch of films, don't expect first thoughts on all of them because we're all with our families doing holiday shit. So grabbing people for the movies is not easy right now. I get that. But Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, The Iron Claw, Ferrari, Maestro, The Color Purple, all coming out in the next few weeks. I plan to see all of them. I don't know how many I'm going to talk about. So just keep that in mind. But go see this stuff. Go to the movies, support the theater, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.